Oh, it's not as bad as a canned.
Yeah.
Bottled is a little better than the canned seltzer water.
It's all good.
That flavored shit is terrible.
No.
You don't.
Love it.
You do?
Fucking, I just bought
What's it called?
6
Bubbly?
bottles.
Did you say you got the bubbly?
Bubbly?
I can't stand it.
I like it if it's got a little flavor.
La Croix.
I don't drink that shit. It's never on sale, but
Yeah.
that's up too. Like, and everybody shits on you for it every time.
All right, I'm gonna do this intro. Welcome everybody back to Harbor Discussions. I normally actually don't even do an intro because it's just me and one other person. But today I got 3 other people in here with me. I have 3/4 of the local band Sukkawut. I have Mike and Nate Powell and Billy F here with me. Do you guys want to tell everybody what your role is in the band?
All right, yeah, I'll start. I mean, I just I play guitar in the band, and I mean, I pretty much book all the shows and everything, and
Cool guy.
we practice at my house. I provide most of the equipment.
He's the money and the effort.
He's the band.
You just play instruments.
Yeah.
There's Pepsi's up here if anybody wants Pepsi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ice, water, whatever. Just he knows where everything is.
Thank
Gotcha.
you. Keep that.
Okay, I will. All right. Also, get a little closer to the mic. It's all good.
Like this close?
However close you feel. Also, do you guys want to promote the social medias for the band?
I don't even know him.
No.
Don't want to? All right, that's fine.
We got Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't even.
I think
Don't keep up with it too much.
No.
Not really.
Yeah, it's all
Sukkawut
good.
DHC, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
On Facebook and
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, I'll be sure to link it down below for everybody.
We do a terrible job at it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all good. And where can everybody listen to Sukkawut?
We're on Spotify, at all streaming platforms. We got the demo on every streaming platform or whatever. I think. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but you should just go to YouTube and watch the live videos because the demo sucks. So
All right.
We'll have a new one out soon-ish.
if you go to the headquarters on YouTube, or it's the HQ, or
I think it's
something like that.
XXHQ, XM, I don't know, something like that.
Again, yeah. Again, that'll be all linked below.
But
Yeah,
it's got all the videos from the headquarters, and we're in a lot of them because we played all the shows.
absolutely. We will talk about that for sure. We're gonna talk first about how Sukkawut and the headquarters formed. Now, I did do my research. I found out that the band sort of formed in recovery. You became his sponsor in NA and everything. And Billy, you said that you were always listening to punk music and stuff like that, but you kind of needed to change the pace, and you took him to a hardcore show. Do you guys remember which show that was?
It was, I think,
Wolf's Blood, Madball.
Madball. No, it was at the.
Is that the one I got my head busted at?
Sidebar.
Were you
Yeah,
there?
it was at the
Was I there?
sidebar.
Yeah, yup.
Was it Next Step Up?
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
I could talk about it. Yeah, Next Step Up played.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember who was playing when it happened, but I remember we left before Madball even played. Some dude, I was standing right, I don't know, have you ever been to the sidebar?
No.
It's real tiny, and it's concrete walls down there. Brick, whatever, yeah. And I was standing along the pit, and I was next to that wall, and some dude did a handstand and kicked me right in the face, and my head went right back into that brick wall. And I was seeing stars for a while. I think that was my first concussion.
Yeah. Were you not looking, or was he kind of being a little belligerent with
Yeah, I
the?
didn't think he came and stood on his hands and sprung his feet out right at my face. I didn't think he was.
Jeez.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I think right before that too is during Next Step Up. I got a hammer right to the top of the head.
Yeah, I've gotten those, like trying to walk out and everything like that. You live and you learn. You almost have to get your hits,
Part of the game.
You just
Absolutely.
gotta throw your fist longer than theirs.
Yeah. What's funny is I remember meeting Lorne, I think, at the headquarters,
Oh, yeah?
and I think he complimented me on me being in the pit, because, like, kind of speaking on that, I'm small, as you see, so I kind of have to show out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so you two were starting of actually talking to Ben and reached out to him. Now, I'm curious, as father and son, before this time period, did you ever discuss, like, joining a band together?
Oh well, he used to play drums. He kind of I mean, I don't know if he.
See, who is it? Who?
Oh yeah, that's right. My dad played drums, and
Mike's his dad.
Billy
He
is
might be.
also my dad though.
Different.
So that's
situation.
kind of confusing
Different
sometimes.
situation.
So him and I had always played music together. He played drums, and I don't know if he taught me or if I just picked up from watching him. And then he got a guitar and he started playing guitar, and we always played together. I mean, since I, before I can remember, we were always playing music together. My brother played guitar as well, so we all played. And I started a band in high school with Lauren, ex-Opioids,
Mm-hmm.
and we were a punk band, and God, we all really sucked back then. By the end of it, we were pretty good, but no, and I'd always, he'd always, my dad always took me to shows and everything, and I always told him how I wanted to front a hardcore band, and how cool that would be. And one day he came up to me and Billy, did we know each other before the band?
I've known you since you were a child.
He still is a child.
Yes, I knew you before.
Like-
Just an adult
Like,
child.
I don't know. I don't think I knew Travis or something. I don't know. We didn't know each other that well anyway, and my dad said, "Hey, you want to front a hardcore band?" I said, "Obviously." There was no question about it. I guess he found Billy to play bass and Travis to play drums, and he was just missing a front man, and so I was the, loose end.
Gotcha.
And I didn't play bass prior to this.
Yeah, that was actually my next
He
note.
still doesn't.
And you actually, like, beforehand, you didn't really consider yourself a musician compared to these guys, you said. Have you changed that mindset, or are you still a little humble on that?
No, I haven't changed my mind. No, I
Well,
played guitar and did vocals in a punk band a while back.
Sure, they can hear you.
Can you hear me?
yeah, I could hear you in my headset. You should be okay, but a little closer would
Yeah.
probably help.
So I played in a punk band right out of high school or whatever. And even then, not a musician, you know what I mean? Just some guys who wanted to start a band. Institution White, there's a single on fucking YouTube somewhere.
All right.
It sounds racist, it's not. There's a story behind that, but that was definitely punky, and so I kind of played guitar, not really, and talking about starting a band, and I went out and bought a bass and played the bass. It's pretty fucking easy in a hardcore band.
Yeah, my friends, they practice together sometimes. They're not in a band or anything like that, but it is easy because they've been teaching my friend Jay a little bit to teach,
Yeah.
and he's been picking it up. He was just watching my friend, and he didn't sound bad.
Yeah,
So
I just followed what Mike did on the guitar,
there you go. And I was gonna ask how Travis kind of fell into the situation, because y'all are father and son, and then you met him through NA.
Yeah, I mean, we just hung out with Travis, and he actually plays guitar, but I knew that he could play the drums. He could keep a beat, so
Okay.
just asked him if he wanted to be in it, and he was like, he was down, so he became the drummer.
Gotcha.
And Billy doesn't play bass, Travis doesn't really play drums. I'm really a drummer, not actually a guitarist, and Nate, was never a vocalist before, so it was all everything. It was all new to all of us.
Well, I gotta say, I wouldn't have known that, to be honest. I would have guessed that all of you have been playing for a while, and I do mean that. So he did move to Florida recently, which is how you guys integrated Lauren into the band. Did you guys have a formal send-off for Travis?
No.
No?
We helped him move.
Okay.
Bag of shit,
Well, there you go. That counts, I guess.
Yeah.
No, we weren't even playing at that point, because when COVID hit, everything stopped.
Right,
So when he was moving, we weren't even considering playing music.
right.
Yeah, there's a loss of steam, I think. I think we were pretty unsure what we were doing with the band, if we were going to move forward with it or what, because we needed a restructure anyways, and then Travis was leaving, so it was kind of and everything shut down. It was everything was kind of pointing to just shutting the band down, but we didn't do that.
Well, that's good.
While we're talking about Travis, I just wanted to Give me a second to pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But I'm not gonna play anything. I just gotta, respect the Trav.
Of course.
I'm just trying to pull the name up. He's in a band down in Florida now.
Yeah, they're tight.
Yeah, big shout out.
They haven't released anything yet, but he's sent over a couple clips of
Red
practice.
Red Tide is the name of the band.
That's not what he said.
Well,
I wonder if they changed it.
what do you got?
Coagula sounds more of like something he would be in.
Okay.
COAG.
I thought Red Tide's already a band.
I don't know. Cut all of this out.
Do you know if they've made any pages yet?
No, I don't. He didn't say that he had. I asked him, and I said I was going to plug it in the podcast. That's
Okay.
All I said was the band name.
Well, we can always figure that out later, and
Yeah,
I'll
right.
be sure to plug anything and everything y'all want.
Cool.
Now, since Lauren isn't here, I do want to promote. He does his own little solo project called One Sock Off. He's got a single, Half an Hour Just Got Shorter. That's available on Spotify if anybody wants to listen to that.
Lord does a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know he's into photography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If he was here, I would get a little more in depth about that with him.
I don't want to say too much about the subject I don't know about, but I don't think he's really going with One Sock Off anymore.
Okay.
It was really good. It was all experimental. Him and I took a class in high school. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just music on the computer. Electronic music. That's what it was called. And he went and bought a keyboard, and he was really having fun with all those programs on the computer. And so One Sock Off was kind of that outlet for him to make music on the computer instead of with a guitar in his hand. And he was practicing, producing everything, and now that's kind of, he was trying to get off with producing people's music, and I think he got somewhere. He actually he did an internship somewhere.
Neighborhood Watch Productions.
He knows all about it.
I did my research.
But yeah, I mean, he went pretty far with it, and now we're recording an album for us, and he's doing all the work. He's brought all the mics, brought the computer, he's producing it, everything.
Awesome.
And he's got another project. I don't know the name of it or anything, but he's got another project he's doing with some friends. So yeah, he's out there.
All right,
doing
we'll be
a lot
on
of
the
work.
lookout for that.
Yeah.
So back to Sukkawut. You wrote for 2 months before actually coming up with a name. Now, who's in charge of writing the lyrics?
The
lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lyrics that back then.
Right, I figured so because I notice on Instagram and stuff you take up poetry and everything like that. You're a writer, very good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I'm curious if you ever took up any like creative writing classes in school, or if you ever took like an extra interest in the free writing portions of English class.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Talk about the Boomerang song.
maybe later. No, I think that's not a good idea. No, and so it's senior year of high school. I had like all my credits that I needed or whatever to graduate, and I was at Manchester Valley. I got my teacher, Mr. Tucker. Andrew Tucker is his name, and I got him to shout out Andrew Tucker.
Full
He just
government name.
He just quit this year because Carroll County School sucks. Good for him. Good for you if you're out there.
Too political.
Too
Not
political?
really.
Whatever. All right. I mean, we'll write a song about it. Then it'll be okay. No, I had him do. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just him and I. That's all. What the class was just. It was just a one-on-one.
Wow.
Independent studies, what it was called, on poetry. And that was really a way to not do school. But I was trying to get them to let me do work release, but I wasn't going to college, so they wouldn't let me do that. But yeah. So yeah, poetry's something I'm really into. I haven't done it in the past couple years.
Well, all right, thank you. And when it comes to your writing process, do you have to be in any particular emotional state to write? Because I notice you do write about a lot of, I guess, sensitive topics and emotions and stuff like that. You get very deep when you write. So do you have to be in a certain place, or can you write whenever?
It'll be impossible to write something if I'm in a good mood. I mean, it's just is, And usually if I'm in a bad mood, hard to explain sometimes, but I'll take something that's not such a horrible thing, a topic that's not such a horrible thing in my life, and I'll flip it around and make it bad. you know. And that's just, I don't know, that's just the way I write, is to be over dramatic about something, I guess, you know. And I take one specific thing that's bugging me and broaden it out so that everyone can understand it in their own way.
Yeah, I totally understand because I've done some writing of my own, and I definitely don't write about positive things that much either.
I've
because
tried, man. It doesn't get me anywhere.
yeah, well,
PMA all day.
I've tried, you know, and that's the thing with lyric writing. You got bands like H2O and Wisdom in Chains, and they talk about, you know, the love that's being shared in the scene, and the love of hardcore and the love of music, rather than, you know, being pissed off all the time. And I've tried that, man. I've tried it over and over again, and it just always comes out so corny to me. You know.
yeah, well, you gotta be original. You have to be true to yourself and genuine. So, you know, it's good that you're not really trying to push a sound that you're not good at. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so it was around this time, Mike, that you had the idea to gut out your basement to make the headquarters. Now, I'm curious on what the actual process of remodeling was like.
I just tore it. There's just one wall in the way. I just tore it down.
Okay.
Just took a hammer and beat it.
And then I had to make a backstage entrance. So there was a wall in the back that I just cut a hole in so you could walk through it. And then we just put up a bunch of Christmas lights and shit, and I mean, put some track lights up. I mean, it wasn't really extensive, but I mean, it did take time, and I did spend some money on it and everything. So, but it was worth it. I mean, it was that
Hell
shit
yeah.
was fun as hell, man. I mean, every show was awesome, and the people that came by were cool as shit, and I don't know, it was a good time.
Yeah, and I know that you did have to like sort of talk and comply with your neighbors and things like that.
Mhm.
Was that always positive?
Yeah, I mean, there was only one neighbor I was concerned about, and I just let her know what was going on. And after the first show, she said she didn't even know I had that first show. Everybody park in my backyard, and just kept everybody off the street, so nobody was hanging out on
Right.
the street and everything. And she was like, I didn't even know it was happening. She couldn't hear anything, and she didn't. So that was cool.
That first show and everyone parked in the backyard.
Yeah.
Lorne, he wasn't in the band at the time. It was the first headquarters show. Ex-Opioids played, but I don't think Lorne was in the Ex-Opioids anymore. He ran his car right over your well cap. He had put a bucket over top of it so that people
I put
wouldn't
a trash
drive.
can
A
over
trash
it.
can, that's
Yeah.
right. And he hit the trash can and drove right over it.
Yeah, and then it made my well pump like fell down to the bottom of the well, and it was like spitting out like muddy water and
Oh,
shit.
Jesus.
I had to fix that. But
He was like, I'm sorry.
then the next show we had, it was like snowing or it was wet or raining or something. I didn't want everybody running through the backyard, and so I had everybody park on the road, and that's just what I kept going with because we didn't have any issues. So.
Yeah, that's good. It's usually not an issue unless somebody parks wrong. I had like a party that I threw for my birthday a few years ago, and like the cops had came to the door, but it wasn't because of a party. It was because somebody just parked in a total spot they weren't.
Right.
So it just goes to show that
Yeah.
it is worth, it's worth caring about.
Yep, definitely.
So discuss like the before, during, and after process of what it was like hosting the shows.
Oh, man. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I mean, it was also, like if we had a show coming up like the day before, we'd probably start cleaning up and straightening things up, and then the day of was just like running around getting shit together and making sure everything was working, all the electric was working, and lights were working, and I mean, it was a process. It wasn't like I just wake up and people show up and there's a show. I mean, there was work involved, And then after the show, the next day, we just spent hours cleaning up, and it wasn't really that bad, but there was just trash around, and empty the trash bags and put stuff back the way it should be, because I definitely like did some rearranging of furniture and stuff for the shows. But I mean,
The Halloween shows were really cool.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
we spent a lot of time on those shows.
Yeah. Billy would come with his girlfriend, and they would. I feel like she would bring other people, I don't know. Anyway, we'd have a bunch of people. We'd have other people over that weren't even in the band, you know, and they would dress it up for Halloween. Like the last one we did was the butcher shop, right?
Yeah.
That was really cool. I mean, he put my dad had put up black lights up in the ceiling, which we ended up kicking down.
It was you.
I didn't. It wasn't my feet. It was Josh's feet.
It was you.
I picked Josh up, and then he bicycle kicked the light down.
Is there possibly video proof of this?
There is, yeah. It's
During
during
the YouTube channel.
YouTube, yeah. It's during Forced Under set at the last Halloween show. It's there.
Yeah, that'll be in the description as kicked black lights out. Yeah, something like that. And I also noticed you guys almost seem to have like a staff at the house when it comes to, you know, people buying the tickets, the merch and stuff like that. That could be a big word with that laugh, but you know, you do have people that are kind of stationed at different spots to do their job.
I just laughed because we never really did that on purpose. I think it just kind of fell into place.
We always had somebody to take the money.
Yeah.
Which we charged for the shows, by the way, but I never made any money off any of that shit. All the money always went to the bands. The first show or two, I took some money to reimburse myself for money I had put out. But then after that, all the money always went to the bands, 100% of it. So we never made a dime. But yeah, we had somebody, you know, that would collect the money. Billy did it a lot. And as far as merch, I mean, the bands brought their own people for the merch, you know. But everybody just kind of pitched in and helped out.
Yeah, that's nice that everybody seemed to like do their part in their own way without even having to be asked or anything like that. They kind of volunteered.
Yeah, I always
seemed.
felt like everybody appreciated, you know, the spot and like having the opportunity to have shows there, and like everybody was always on board with doing whatever they had to do to keep it running and keep it going, and it was always cool, man. Everybody was always cool.
For sure. Now, you guys opened the headquarters and had the first event August 11th, I think it was, in 2018. And the band was still undecided on a name. You guys went out as To Be Announced. And before the show, you guys all
Should've kept
put...
that name.
You guys... That'd be funny. You guys all put 3 names into a Tupperware container that you guys all had chosen beforehand. Now, whose idea was that?
I don't know.
Look, all I know was Travis wanted like mother murderers, you know, like something crazy like some death metal name, you know.
Yeah.
And none of us wanted that.
I got you. I was gonna ask if like anybody remembered any of the other name suggestions.
Wormwood was one of Travis's.
I think that's a Casey Strain
It is
reference.
yeah. Like Travis is very death metal, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
like yeah.
And like, you know, he wanted that, you know. And we were all like vehemently opposed to each other's names. And
I think my dad was the one who said Sukkawut. You know, it was, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just a random thing, and I was like, hey, that's actually kind of cool, you know?
and I said that if
Absolutely
that
not.
was our name, I wasn't gonna be in the band.
Travis was so mad that we were even considering it. You know?
I was too.
Yeah.
I was very against the name.
Do you remember, Mike, what brought upon the thought you had when you came up with that name?
Yeah, I don't know if it was talking to Nate or somebody else or whatever, but we were just like, you know, like playing around, arguing, but you know, not serious. And I was like, Suckle what? And I was like, that'd be a good band name.
So that is what ended up getting chosen, and you
Well,
very
that's because, you know, he put, did we all put 3 names in there?
Yeah.
So he put all 3 of his as Sukkawut. So,
No.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did, and I'm pretty sure you put an
I
extra one
put
in there.
I put 2 in as Suckle what and 1 as something else. I don't remember what it was.
But yeah, it was a
So
good.
it was in there 5 times. Yeah.
Hey, there was still it was a possibility.
It's fixed.
So your reaction, Nate, you went Suckle what? Was that kind of like the start of that? Because I noticed like every show that I go to, there's always someone yelling that. Do you
Yeah.
think that's kind of what started it?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if we did it before that or not, you know, trying to break the name in or anything, but yeah, I don't know.
It's a good name for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
works for that for sure. You know?
I remember we did like a little intro one time at the headquarters, you know, before our set. We were just like bullshitting on the, instruments, and I think I was up there. I think I was singing Sukkawut, suck a dick. Pretty sure.
Yeah, that seems to be a common thing. I was talking to my friend Ben in my last one, and he said they would always do some weird stuff when they were practicing, and that's how a lot of the things got incorporated into their music. Because I would ask him, what does that mean? He's like, oh, that was just totally random. We were just digging around. Yeah. So the first set consisted of, it was Self-Infliction, Rancid, and Blasphemy. Now, did you guys have the entire demo written out at that point?
No, that's all we had.
Gotcha.
That was it. They were saying like, play one more, and we're like, that's all we got.
Yeah, I gotcha. I just figured since it was like most of it already, I wanted to ask.
That wasn't even our first show, though.
It wasn't?
No, we played. Oh yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah. No, we played.
Chump Stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a week or two later.
Yeah. I was out of tune. I was in the wrong tuning the whole time. I'm a
Don't watch that
musician.
video.
It's fucking bad.
You live and learn, friend. All right. And so this right away, Mike, you began filming and putting these up. Now, was this because you wanted to have an archive of all of the band footage so that you could use it for promotion and videos and stuff like that? Or was it all just purely because you wanted to get it, you wanted it filmed and you wanted it out there for people to see, kind of like what Hate 56 does as a passion?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted other people to be able to see it. I also wanted people to watch it and want to come to the shows. I also just wanted like have a record of it even happening, you know. So I mean, back in the day, we used to use VHS tapes, you know, and they would get rotten or whatever. And so now we have digital format, so it's like on there forever,
Right.
you know. So I just wanted it to be documented.
Absolutely. And have you ever thought about getting like even deeper into that side of the scene, recording and behind the scenes, getting content?
Not really.
Okay.
It's just not. I mean, not that I wouldn't do. I don't know. It's just not my interest. I like to be at a show and be out front and enjoy the music and the pit and everything. Like,
Right.
You know, I don't want to be like a technical person behind the scenes. You know.
We were considering, you know, at the headquarters getting a better camera maybe. We were trying to get Lauren we were trying to get the equipment for Lauren to be able to record the audio while we were playing the video, and he said it was definitely something that could work. It just never, you know, we never executed it.
Right.
But I don't think we would. I mean, maybe just as a hobby, or you know, for our enjoyment, but it wouldn't have been for, you know, money or anything.
I gotcha. I was gonna say like that the almost grainy style footage of it. I don't think it looks bad, you know, because it fits the vibe of what the show is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a basement local show, so
DIY.
yeah, exactly.
The
So
only shitty thing was that when it had our darker shows, we didn't have so many lights up and everything.
Yeah, you can't see
really
anything.
see anything.
But whatever, man.
yeah, that's like me and Jake from B12 were talking about Mosh Against Addiction and how some of the sets they turned the lights off and he couldn't see. It is what it is. So that now I want to briefly talk about Ex-Opioids for a second because they did play at the grand
You
opening.
guys can sit back.
I don't have too much. I'm curious what your intentions were when you guys started that band.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I think
Music, probably.
I think it was So Madeline was our singer. I think she. Jeez, man. It was like a whole web of people that I didn't know Lauren or Brewer or Madeline. We didn't know each other. You know, I think Lauren knew some girl that knew all of us separately. You know, and she just kind of connected us that way. And I think I can't remember if we met up at Lauren's place or my dad's place the first time. But that was like our first time. Oh, it was at my mom's house, in the basement of my mom's house, which is not music ready or anything like that. You know, there's not a lot of space there, and that was like the first time. Oh, and Madeline wasn't even our singer to start with. Look, this is.
It's all good.
Yeah, so we didn't have a singer. It was just Lauren, me, and Brewer. Okay, and we met through some mutual friend, and we had this person in mind. It was another girl in mind to sing, and she like never showed up. And the one time she finally shows up to a practice, the one time she finally showed up to practice, we had invited Madeline, and Madeline was there first, and then we had both of them there, and it was really awkward. You know. But
So you made them fight it out, right?
well, the original singer sat there and French kissed the dogs for a while, and that was like, yeah, it was really weird. She didn't really sing, and she just kind of like made out with my dad's dogs in the house, and we're like, let's go with Madeline, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
It turned out to be cool. Madeline's punk, she's pretty punk. She knows all the stuff. Yeah, I think she actually taught us a lot about the music, punk rock anyway.
Okay. Now the first show you guys played was at the punk rock barbecue, right?
Was that the first one?
I think so.
I thought, I could be wrong. You might be right, but I thought the first one was at the what was that festival called? What do they call the festival? Brian's Festival.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called.
It was some addiction.
Rise
Against Addiction.
Oh, okay.
I think that was our first one.
It is, I don't know if that's the right name of it.
That's the company, at least the nonprofit. I don't know. Whatever. We played that festival. I'm pretty sure that was the first one.
Okay.
Our original name was Opioids, but I was like, I don't like that because it sounds like we're trying to get people to do opioids. So it's like, let's put an X in it. That would be cool.
So is the idea behind that kind of to be anti-opioid?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think the rest of the band really cared about that side of it.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed the idea to use the band to speak up against that kind of stuff.
Agreed. And you guys you've played at the Spider Dome a lot, Skid Row Garage. Do you want to talk about playing at those places?
I'll talk about the Spider Dome. The Spider Dome was really cool, man. Yeah, that place was awesome, and I don't know, the Spider Dome was before the headquarters, and I think they kind of overlapped in the time frame for a little bit there, and the Spider Dome ended up just kind of falling off.
So it was another basement venue?
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Right around the corner from the headquarters, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah. I've seen them around. I just haven't gotten a chance to go there.
Yeah. We were at the first show there. It was Water Taxi, the band Water Taxi. It was their guitarist's house. That's where he lived. And that was their practice space. They had friends over to watch them practice and stuff, and then they kind of got a bunch of people over to play music, and it wasn't even really considered a show, but it turned out, and then the next one there was flyers out, and they were making money, and it was really cool. It developed, and they had some big bands come out from out of state, and that basement filled up, man, and there'd be people waiting outside. It was really cool to watch it go from nothing to something,
Oh, yeah.
And all those people, like, we were really the only... For a while, we were the only punk rock band, and like, especially the local, like, played every show. We were really the only punk rock band, and people loved us, and it was crazy because, the closest thing to punk rock they were playing was Water Taxi, and they're like, I guess pop punk sometimes.
Yeah.
But people loved us, and it made me feel cool because they might not even like the music, but they liked us. We were part of the scene, and that was just a cool feeling.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. I definitely didn't realize how much of a community there was amongst the younger people around Carroll County, because, when you go to public school and stuff like that, and you're into punk and things like that, it definitely isn't something that you get, like, gratitude for.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you go to actual shows and you're like, damn, there's actually a lot of people like me. Mm-hmm. So I get what you mean there. That's nice. And you did meet Lauren through Ex-Opioids, right?
Yep.
Nice. So for everybody wondering, that's how he got into the band and everything like that.
We went to the same school. He's a couple years ahead of me.
Okay. And is that band still active?
Ex-Opioids?
Yeah.
No. Madeline's in her own band. I can't think of the name of it, but they actually do a cover of one of our songs, one of Ex-Opioids' songs.
Okay.
Answers. Which, we had a demo out, but I can't find it anymore.
It is on Bandcamp still, I think. Generation Now.
Yeah, yup. It was elsewhere, but it's not anymore.
Yeah. I was able to find it somehow.
Cool.
And Mike and Billy, do you guys want to talk about any other bands that you've been a part of?
Yeah, the Institution White thing was like that. Like I said, that was just some like, I don't know. I was all fucked up on drugs and like just a friend of mine was trying to like, I guess like give me something to do, and we started a punk band. And we actually had the drummer for that band was Brady, who used to play guitar in Butcher's Dozen in the early days.
Okay.
Brady and I go way back, and we got a bass player. Like I said, I was playing guitar. My friend Derek was playing. He's a drummer. He's a really good drummer. He's a talented guy, and he was playing drums. Usually, and then in this band, kind of like Sukkawut, he switched it up. He was playing guitar, I was playing guitar, and we didn't have a vocalist. And I wrote a song. I started doing vocals with that song. They liked it, so we just kept it like that. And then we got another guitar player, Joey, and Jake Green playing bass. And like, it was just for fun. You know what I mean? There was no like, we had no intention of ever doing shit with it. And like, we recorded one song. I just remember getting wasted beforehand. Like, we would be, like, it was just something to do, you know? Like, we met at this guy's garage. I don't know who this guy was. Shout out that dude. And but there was no power, there's no electricity to the garage, so you'd have to go inside. He'd let us sneak into his house, and, like, he had these 2 bull mastiffs, and you had to, like, try to sneak past them, man, and, like, walk all the way back in the basement and plug this thing in, and I got bit in the ass coming out of there by these fucking dogs.
How
man.
big are they? Because I know they
Big
get
as shit,
massive.
like, bro, it was ridiculous. Like, I plugged it in, and I come back to the sliding glass door, and that motherfucker's standing there, and I was like, oh my god. And like, I just like quickly tried to get out of there, and as soon as I turned my back, he bit me in the ass. But
yeah, you're helpless against them.
yeah, it was like, and it's, you know, couldn't say anything. It's a dude, you know, he's letting us practice there, so
Right.
But yeah, that was just supposed to be fun, and it was for a little bit, and then it like really wasn't. You know, like people, you know, with a lot of bands, you got people who like, you know, want to, I don't know, like it just, you know, some people were trying to be way too serious about it, and you know, way too focused on image and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, so we kind of just bailed on the whole thing, but it was cool when it was cool. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
But yeah, that's it for that.
And Mike?
I was only in one other band. I was in high school. It was called Bastard Son. It was a death metal band. And I played drums, and it was the first band I was ever in. And I mean, I don't know. It was cool. I mean, and we played some local shows and all. And we actually, somebody I don't think it was the last show we played, and somebody approached us about recording a demo, and then after that, it's like my guitar player, he signed up for the Navy, and I sold my drums for crack, and like, that was the end of that. You know, shit happens. And then I just, you know, I didn't even have a drum set for years after that. I was just caught up in drugs and everything, and yeah, I don't know. I never even thought about being in a band until, I guess, when Nate was in Opioids, it kind of made me feel like, it kind of brought back a lot of nostalgia, I guess, and made me want to get back into it.
Nice. And what age did you get into the drums?
Probably like 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. I just started playing snare drum in the marching band in school.
Okay.
You know, and then I did that for like a year, and I was like, this is fucking boring. You know? And then I got it. My parents helped me get a kit and started taking lessons, and that was that.
Okay, nice. Now we're going to switch, and we're going to start talking about the demo, Everything That Humans Hate. Now, it was recorded with Aaron of Be Real Entertainment at the headquarters. Now, Billy, you were on his A-Live podcast, which is how that's how I was able to get a lot of the information about how you guys got the name, everything like
Gave
that.
everything up.
So just go listen to that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good. It gives you a little bit of background, and maybe we'll explain a little better than us. But was it you that brought that relationship to the band? No.
We've known him. Mike and I had known him for a while.
Okay.
He I think we're probably the only like band of our like genre that he recorded. I don't know about up to this point.
He recorded Ex-Opioids as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he did that. He did Ex-Opioids live. Everything was live. We had like only a couple mics and everything. You know, guitars were aiming at each other. The guitar and the bass were aiming at each other. And Maddie, I think, was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, we did this
like
in
a vocal booth.
Yeah. We did this in the headquarters before it was the headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah, but Aaron does like hip hop stuff, rap stuff.
Yeah, because I know in the podcast it was Rem 1 in there, I think. Remedy of Funk was the song. And I thought it was fitting because the song was like, "Move, sucker." I was like, "Sucker what?"
Yeah, he did B Rain stuff, and B Rain's the one who got Ex-Opioids. Cloud Gang, yeah, he got Ex-Opioids their first show at that festival I was talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I've met him before because did you know that he was originally he started that sneaker store in the mall with that one dude?
On feet.
Yeah, that's how I met him officially.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to talk about and give your perspective on the whole recording process and what y'all thought that was like individually?
I mean, it sucked, man.
Yeah. It was fun though. I mean, you know, there's a lot of like there was more like bullshit and then like work being done, you know. But like Nate said, we recorded live and
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. It's all coming back to me now.
so
That sucked.
Nate was blowing his voice out. You know what I mean? We like the
Nobody
demo
could
sucks.
stay on like
you know?
like we were all very early musicians at that point with all the instruments that we were playing. Travis really didn't like the music we were playing, so that kind of added a lot to like how shitty we were. You know, he enjoyed being in the band, but he just wasn't into hardcore. He likes metal, you know,
Right.
death metal. And so he didn't really have a whole lot of like passion or spirit in the music. And man, if we didn't play the same song all fucking day, you know what I mean? And I literally had a squirt thing of lemon juice and a squirt thing of honey, and I was just squirting down my mouth, you know, head back, fucking, you know, let's go again, you know. And,
Is it because your voice was hurting that bad?
Oh yeah, and it was a couple days of that, you know, and it just came down to, okay, you guys record the music, just figure it out, and then
Aaron
I came back.
Aaron left us alone. He's like, just push this button.
And then I came back and
He got lost. I don't know what to do with these guys.
yeah, I ended up doing vocals afterwards because I just couldn't take it anymore, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, even tracking the instruments. I mean, you know, you get 90% of the way there and then fuck up at the end.
Yeah.
You got to redo it, and there was a lot of that. It was good practice, but
We could have multi-tracked, but I don't think anyone was good enough to play to a click track, you know.
Gotcha.
I think we did some multi-tracking, you know, like redid the guitar or whatever. I think we ended up doing that by the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played some guitar tracks solo. I don't remember what for, but yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to break a little bit down into each of the songs, talk about what they mean. This is where you'll come in a lot because you wrote a lot of these songs. There we go. We got the demo right here, physical copy.
Yeah, fun fact real quick.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows the name of these songs. So the way that
in
this
the band. Nobody
yeah,
in the band.
yeah. I'm looking at the a physical copy of our CD right now. I'm looking at the back of it. I got number 1, Self-Infliction, number 2, Rancid, number 3, Blaspheme, number 4, Everything That Humans Hate, number 5, Force Fiend. That is the order that we wrote our songs, and that these
So we
numbers,
reference
you know,
them.
we put the words away. This is what we call our songs. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, okay. So if somebody
Still,
tried
to
to...
this day, they don't know that number 3 is called Blaspheme. You know, it's just let's play number 3.
We probably know that one now, but like 5, there's no way.
We don't even play
that
that
one.
one. But anyway,
So if anybody tries to read the set list, they're going to be very confused, huh?
it's numbers. It really
You
is.
guys didn't finish the set list.
We're working on new music now, and it's the same deal with that. You know, the numbers have been replaced.
You got to use Roman numerals at some point if you get too sidetracked. All right, so Self-Infliction. It's the first of 2 songs where you use this term "guys." In that song, you say, "Unzip your guys head to toe, pull in victims to look real close to see what's inside your broken soul." And then on 4, you say, pull down my sleeve, let down my guys, feel the relieve, my reprise. For the people listening, if you don't know what that means, guys, it's an external form of appearance concealing the true nature of something. I'm curious on what scenarios you guys felt like, well, you, but also you guys can feel free to speak on what situations you felt like you had to put on a guise or a formal appearance that's not really what you are.
Do you have that written down somewhere? I want to read them again.
Yeah.
Where is it? Unzip your guys head to toe, pulling victims to look real close to see what's inside your broken soul. I don't know. I feel like, and you know, I guess I was gonna say at that point, but I guess still now, there's a lot of people out there that are just not who they want to be, you know. And I think a lot of my music, or my lyrics anyway, while it's angry, it's very angry, and it's kind of it's trying to lift you up at the same time, like very brutally pointing out how you're fucking up and telling you to fix it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I think there's a lot of people, it's not, sure, I put on with ex-opioids, I played with a mask on my face, and it was very hard. There was times where I would leave it at home or forget it or lose it at the show, and it was very hard to play. It threw me off. I don't know why. It was just easier to hide behind something. And with Sukkawut, I think I might have worn it the first time we played. I can't remember. I think they really didn't want me to. I know that. I might have tried to wear it anyway, but that was really hard for me to stand up there all the way in the front of the band, and you know, if I fuck up, everyone's gonna know that. You know, everyone's gonna know that I fucked up, and they're gonna know after the show. I'm not, you know, ex-opioids, I had a mask on, I can take the mask off, maybe somebody, and this is stupid, but maybe somebody doesn't know that I was the guy with the mask and the drums that fucked up, you know. But it would turn me into a different person, I guess, with the literal mask on my face.
Right.
I would be a different person. They would call me Crazy Nate. You know, I don't.
Is that where the name on your Instagram comes from?
Yeah, I don't know who came up with it, but I hated it at first. I really did. I hated Crazy Nate. But when I put the mask on, that's what everyone called me. You know, and it took me until Sukkawut to realize that that's just who I want to be. Like, Crazy Nate was a different person at the time. You know, I was more outgoing. And now I am that way.
Okay. I think we all have forms of appearance that we put on at work, you know, at school, things like that. You know, I don't think we all show our true self to people all the time. So everybody kind of struggles with that, I think. And when it comes to, you know, feeling like if you're going to fuck up, everybody's going to notice. There's this saying where it's like, if you're going to make a mistake, make it big, not in the sense of like amplify your mistake, but like, you know, if you act, you know, nervous and things like that, it will make it worse. But if you, you know, play it off and things like that, if you make it big, then kind of helps, you know, but you learn with that.
It came to when Sukkawut started, there was a lot of, yeah, I was the most recent one in a band. I was the person being in a band most recently, and I had all that recent. I keep saying recent because I think they've probably maybe had more experience than me overall in a band.
No.
Billy's shaking his head. I said maybe. Okay. But they were always saying, you know, that show sucked, or we sucked that time, and it. I started realizing nobody noticed. I was up there singing. I didn't even notice, you know? So, I don't know where I was going with that, but, you know, people don't notice that shit a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, and if they do, we picked a perfect kind of music to play because nobody gives a shit if you fuck up, you know?
Yeah, and it's like one of them things where mostly everything that you feel bad about, it's like in a day or two, it ain't even going to matter, you know? It's something that you have to learn through life to not get mad at shit like that, right. You know? You have to realize if it ain't going to matter in this amount of time, it ain't worth worrying about now.
For sure.
So the next song, Rancid, the lyrics I chose to call out was, you perceive him as a monster, you treat him like an outcast, you hate him, you despise him, but you don't understand, you created him. It reminds me a lot of what's going on in our society today. And I'm curious if you guys think that the mistreatment of our fellow people, if that's caused everything that's going on, all of the animosity, all of the mass shootings and things like that, people just seeming not to have respect for other people. Do you think that we need to change our behavior to prevent creating these monsters?
Well,
Do you think this was?
this was what?
Do you think you were gonna get all this when you wrote these lyrics?
I was hoping to. I mean, there was one point I wrote. I think I posted it on my personal Facebook. I wrote I put all the lyrics out, and then I explained everything, and I was hoping somebody would appreciate it, but nobody.
Here's your shot.
This is my
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
I'm shining. I'm just. The world's different than when I wrote this, and hadn't even been that long, so I'm trying to explain it
Right.
in a way that might. At the time, him is very literal. I was writing about men in general, specifically. I was writing about men specifically.
Okay.
And how at the time, it was very popular. It was everyone was all over social media talking about how men should be sharing their feelings and shit like that, and which is true, but they were making the guys the enemy because they don't do that, and saying that we were angry all the time, and it's because we don't share our feelings, and there's men beating their significant others and whatnot, and which is fucked up. First of all, okay,
Of course, yeah.
I'm not ever gonna say that that's okay in any kind of circumstance. But they were generalizing that.
They really have it coming. I'm just kidding.
Take that out. But they were taking that kind of idea of men beating women and generalizing it to all men. And this song is just kind of like, yeah, we do that shit. We stuff it down. It's because that's just what we're expected to do. And all these women are saying that it's okay to share their feelings. It's not that way. And I don't think they understand that.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, no, and it's very different now, and this song, the more shit starts to develop in the world, it's very easily applicable to everybody in society, like you said.
Yeah. Trying to remember where I was about to go with this. So because you were saying it was really about men and everything like that, there's lots of people that say that men are really, women and children and dogs, they're loved unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
Men, people say, are not loved unconditionally. They're loved under the condition that they provide.
Right.
So that provides a lot of stress for men, and it's
Right.
a reason why they can't open up. And also because when men do open up, they get judged a lot. They're seen as weak or whatever, and it's been like that for so long. That's why it's hard, and that's why these things are so commonplace.
You're right, and I think the idea from the song is the hypocrisy behind, well, just open up, just share your feelings, because it doesn't ever get you anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm very open within my small circle of people and family and all that, and I'm not saying that guys out there should just eat it, but it's just the hypocrisy behind the statement that it's our fault that we get so angry or whatever. I don't know
I get
if
you,
that makes
man.
sense.
Yeah, it does. It does to me, and it probably will to most of the men out there too. We're gonna go to Blasphemy now. Now the guitar riff on the intro, Mike, it reminded me a lot of the sound of Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath.
Mhm.
Did that? Were you
funny.
inspired by that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that was Travis came up with that song. I think you wrote the whole thing. I might
Okay.
have wrote the ending to it, but that was his thing, his song. And first time I heard it, I was like, yeah, that sounds like Black Sabbath. I was like, we can't use that. It sounds like Black Sabbath.
The more we played it, we realized that it's actually the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on the album Black Sabbath,
But it's not exactly the same.
No,
But it's got the feeling, and it's definitely a lot of people are reminded of Black Sabbath when we play that.
Yeah, and then it changes the sound, which is nice. Probably what keeps you safe.
Right.
I think it's cool because I always wanted to mosh to Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I chose to find the lyrics. Begging for acceptance is blasphemy. Very, very true. And I want you to talk about what you feel society expects of you and why people beg for acceptance or what they might be begging for.
I don't know. It's all bullshit. You
Yeah.
know, like, I don't know. There's just so many people. It's just again with the people who are so fake and they go home all depressed and shit because, and they don't know why. And it's really because they're not being who they want to be. You know, and they're not living up to their potential, and that's because they're trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. And a lot of times it turns them into assholes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so like again, it's just brutally pointing out where you're fucking up and how you can fix it. You know, at that time I was still in high school, and so like all the chicks in high school were all the same. You know, they're all the same person. And
Shout out to chicks.
shout out to high school chicks. Yeah, no, they all sucked. You know, and I couldn't. No, I mean really. And okay, look, to put some background into this, I went to school in a black trench coat with buckles all over it. Okay, and if I wasn't, and I had a mohawk, spiked up mohawk, and if it wasn't the trench coat, it was my punk vest, and I had trip pants, and this all came from my brother. He's older. He's 9 years older than me, and I took his clothes, you know, when he grew out of them.
Right.
But so everyone, like, I would walk past and people would get, he's gonna shoot us, he's gonna kill us, you know. I'm serious. And I was doing this from freshman year, so then the seniors were, oh my god, they would pick on me, telling me that, I don't even remember, but just calling me all kinds of names, and it just, I don't know, there would be people that I thought I liked, that I thought liked me, and when you see them in that crowd, they say all the same shit to me, you know. When it's one-on-one, it's you know, they praise me for whatever, and then they're in the crowd and it's fuck you, Nate, you know. And that's just the kind of two-faced, you know, blending into the crowd shit that I don't like.
I know what you mean, man, because I hit my phase of that in like elementary school, bro. In fourth grade, I was wearing colored skinny jeans, black nail polish, band T-shirts.
They wouldn't let me do that shit.
Really?
I wore it to middle school, and they made me take it off. I wore a shirt that came from my dad. It said, what did it say? It said, "Smell my fingers." It was a radio. What radio? Do you remember? It was a radio shirt.
Smell my face.
I think it said smell. Maybe it did. Maybe it was smell my face. Okay, you're right then. Smell my face. And they made me take that shit off.
What?
They gave me like a regular shirt. Nobody understood. I didn't even understand
That's
it. You know
whack.
what I mean? But like they wouldn't let me wear that trench coat. I remember I wore it to what's the 8th grade is the last year of middle school. I wore it to the dance, the trench coat. I got actually almost kicked out for what the principal called slam dancing at the at the 8th grade dance.
That's nice. I thought about doing that for real. I'm pretty sure I even looked at my friends like, we could just go in there, dude. We could just go in there and start shoving.
I think they were playing like Papa Roach or something.
Oh,
you know, something like that. And it was just me and my friend just bumping shoulders, and he was pissed, man.
yeah, I remember in elementary school, it was the same school where I was like, this is when I was painting my nails and stuff. Like, we had this event outside. They had this DJ, and he was taking requests. I go up there, like, short as shit, probably like not even 12, you know. And I'm like, can you play Chop Suey by System of a Down?
Yeah.
And he, like, I remember he looked at me really shocked, and he's like, I'll have to check. And then they came back to me and was like, we can't play that because this has the word suicide. And I was like, all right,
They did that to me in elementary school. I think I had it was 5th grade. A bunch of kids convinced me to get Instagram on my iPod. And I posted the lyrics to, what's the Papa Roach song?
Last Resort.
Last Resort. I posted the lyrics to Last Resort on my Instagram, and somebody had told, they went home and told their parents, and their parents printed out the post on a piece of paper and gave it to the school.
Right.
That was
like out of context. Out of context, it probably did look bad, but they couldn't have, like, not one teacher there knew what that was. Like, they were in a meeting reading it, and they were like, someone had to have been like, that's Papa Roach, guys. Come on.
I think I even tagged Papa Roach.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's funny. Now, track 4, Everything That Humans Hate, self-titled. Looking back at some live footage, it was originally called Expulsion, right? I remember in a video, I think you said that this track's called Expulsion. It was probably before that it was originally released.
I don't know. It's possible we could have named it, at the same time we named the.
You probably just said that. We probably didn't even have a name for it. You
Yeah.
just said that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
Instead
you
of
have the
saying
lyrics.
This is number 4.
Yeah, because you have the lyrics rancid, horrid, massive, expulsion.
Right.
So that's probably where it came from. Now, I have to know whose idea was it to put the Goonie sample in the intro where it's Chuck confessing to the Fratellis?
It's Travis.
Travis.
I don't remember.
Is that a Travis or you?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm curious if it was selected just for like nostalgia, you loved that movie, or was it because his retching sounded like someone imitating metal?
Yeah, so we started before we picked that. We to start the song off, I would go, right, and then the drums would go, tss, tss, and
Yeah.
that's and I don't know. I think Travis was like, hey, that sounds like Chunk. So.
Yeah, it was very fitting. I like it.
Should I tell the story about the song? Finally come clean about it? What it's really about? No? Okay. You can take that out.
Well, I actually, it's funny because I was going to ask about
Do you
that.
know what it's about?
I have a guess. Okay, I have a guess that it's kind of about addiction and withdrawal. Am I wrong on that, or am I correct?
So it was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
And by the way, you don't have to talk about whatever you're not comfortable with.
I'll tell you as long as you promise to take this out. I'll tell you you're gonna be. You can keep this for yourself.
Okay, and yeah,
You can
and
sell- you
I'll
can put it on a CD and sell it one day. What this is about. But yeah, so that's what that song was originally about. And then we wrote So I had these lyrics written up already, right? And about something else, and then we wrote the song, and I needed lyrics. Like, all these songs are pretty much written as poems and then mixed together because I just already had them before I was even the vocalist.
I'm gonna go use your bathroom.
Go right ahead.
So I don't know. I just picked these lyrics and put them to it, and yeah, it's about addiction, and it's always been something that I've been passionate about, and this could be addiction to anything though. It could be a porn addiction,
Right,
about anything,
yeah.
So it's just about, I don't know. It's a very dramatic and disgusting way to explain something that's not going right in your life.
Yeah. Or it's accurate, because when
That
shit's
too.
bad, it is disgusting,
Yeah.
You can't make any happy words to describe it. Now we'll talk about Force Fiend. The opening line, stuck on the meds your doctor prescribed, is what I'm assuming is the main idea of the song. I'm curious if this is more in reference to them kind of over-prescribing painkillers causing the opioid epidemic, or if it's more or less, children, that haven't even developed yet being given amphetamines and benzos and stuff like that. So yeah, just speak on which of that you were referring to.
So, I have epilepsy. I had surgery for my back, and I got epilepsy immediately after that. They put me on a medicine called Keppra, and Keppra pretty much makes everybody incredibly tired. And at this point in my life, when I was, 14 or 15, I was incredibly depressed, and I was taking that more than I was supposed to. Nobody knew that, and I didn't do anything. I just kept doing it, and I would go through a bottle that was supposed to last me a couple months, and I'd go through it in less than a month, and I ended up having to go to my doctor and tell him, like, take me off this medicine, please, and that was the way I handled it. I just got off the medicine, and it actually, that was probably, I was like 16 or 17 when I went off the medicine, and I had been on multiple different medications that didn't help my seizures, just to stay off of that, and they just put me back on Keppra recently because I had a big fall and everything was fucked up, and they just put me back on the Keppra, and it's a very low dose. They're being very open and honest about the situation now with the doctors, But that was so. There's a little personal experience in there with that song, but no, that's exactly what it is, you know. And I was thinking about like how they would prescribe things like speed for weight loss, and they wouldn't tell you that it was speed. They would say
Right.
it's an amphetamine, but you know, nobody knew at that time, a long time ago, that amphetamines was speed. You know.
Right, yeah. Just because it doesn't have the word meth in there.
Yeah,
you
and they
know?
do it on purpose to get you addicted to it, and there's ways to treat your conditions. I'm not going to get too political about it, but there are ways to treat certain conditions that they don't treat them; they just maintain them because, you know, they make more money, and especially when you get addicted to those things, and they keep selling you more because they don't give a shit about you. They just know that they're getting money.
Right. Now, I have family members that have gone through addiction, so I've been able to kind of witness some of that, and I wanted to briefly talk about just some of the problems with the medical system, especially with the treatment to addicts and everything like that. It's like you said, they really don't treat the issue at hand. You know, if you go seek help, a lot of places they'll treat your withdrawal symptoms, and then they don't focus on your mental health or whatever. So it's like you said, it's just kind of like a long game to them, you know what I mean? And they just want to keep you coming back for the money and stuff like that. It's a huge problem. And then, yeah, the age in which people are given medicines, you know, they'll give it to children that haven't even reached middle school. You know, they'll say they have ADHD and they're taking amphetamines when really it's just something that can probably be behaviorally fixed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never been diagnosed with any like depression or anxiety or anything, but my whole family, you know, has diagnosis for that kind of thing, and I've been in and out of therapy, you know, all my childhood, and I think I always downplayed it because I didn't want them to prescribe me medicine. I remember there was one time I did try to get my therapist. He was the best therapist I ever had. I tried to get him to prescribe me some medicine because I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, everything I was going through. And he would not give it to me, and I appreciate that, you know, looking back on it now. But I never wanted to go on medicine, and I don't know where that specific story was in the timeline of therapies, but I didn't want to go on medicine because I didn't want to, you know, end up a zombie or whatever. All the stories I've heard. My brother was on medicine when he was a little kid for anxiety and ADHD, and it just didn't work out for him at all.
Right, and there's people out there that have like actual chemical imbalances and they do need the medications, but when it comes to not adults, not people past the age of 25 or whatever it is that your brain fully develops, it's like you got to think if a lot of these high schoolers really need these medications, because you go through a lot of stuff in high school that is emotional. You know, you get depressed over things like relationships and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like you need to think about it and go, do I need to be medicated because of a breakup? You know what I mean? It's like there's people that truly get anxious and get depressed, and they don't have any reasons. You know, I think there's a vast difference between having trauma or just having regular depression because of monotony or whatever, and then just it's nothing. You know, your life could be going great, and it's like people have to understand, you know, and they have to know the difference.
I've thought about this kind of thing a lot, you know, and I've looked into it a lot, mental health and physical pain as well. Like, I don't even take ibuprofen because after my back surgery, when I was going in for back surgery, it was major back surgery. It was I got rods in my back for scoliosis. And I tried to tell him I didn't want any medicine. And I didn't want any opioids. Yeah, that didn't last very long. I got sent home with morphine and oxy.
God.
I couldn't take it. It was definitely. I know what a 10. You know when they ask you what is your pain 1 to 10. I know what a 10 feels like.
Yeah.
You know? But now, you know, there's different conditions with depression. I guess there's, you know, environmental depression, like where you are, and there's reactive I'm just coming up with these names, but there's
seasonal
like
depression.
Yeah, and then like if something shitty happens, like someone in your family dies, you can be depressed for a while. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's natural, you know, and there's ways to cope with things. And even if there is something imbalanced in your brain, I'm not telling everybody that they shouldn't go get medicated, because if that's what you need, that's what you need. But there's ways to cope with that kind of shit. And physical pain, like I said, I was well, after my surgery I was taking ibuprofen before I even felt the pain. And I'm not saying I was addicted to it, but it was just not good because it was just not good. That can kill your what is it, your kidneys. That'll destroy you. And I got to the point where I was like, well, maybe I'm supposed to feel this pain, and that's kind of how I feel now. It's like if there's something wrong, if my head hurts or something, I should probably drink water instead of just going to medicate. And if there's something wrong,
Right.
your body's trying to tell you there's something wrong,
Yeah, for sure.
And I kind of stepped away from that a little bit. After I had that fall I was talking about. I fell all the way down my concrete steps.
Oof.
And that was just back in October, and I'm still having migraines, and I have medicine for it because I can't take it, And so I've developed a kind of empathy for people who take medicine now.
Right. Yeah.
But I used to be very strongly against any kind of medicine at all.
Yeah. You just have to learn when it's required and everything like that, because all types of medicines are overprescribed. Probably every medicine out there is prescribed to people who really don't need it.
It's hard to find a good doctor that really cares about you.
Yeah, that is very true. My
Yeah.
parents struggle with that. We found a good family doctor now, but yeah, I'm not, I don't go there for too much. I go there
Right.
for checkups and shit. So, but they go there for adult shit. So it's like, yeah, fucking, they gotta talk about actual health shit. So I know what you mean from hearing them. So Force Fiend was the last song, and I want to talk about some of the songs that you guys did where Travis was on vocals and you were on drums. I know the name of one song, Force Fed Euphoria. I think the other one, is it Trash Water Bubble Bath? I couldn't get it
Can I ask,
exactly.
is this from the live videos that
Yeah,
you this from?
yeah. It was like, that's the only way that I could even get reference.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah,
These were named by Travis.
I gotcha.
That would. We cover that one now. We do that one now. Like
We do a couple of them, but we're changing. We didn't know his lyrics and everything.
Right.
I think
so-
we had names for all of
Yeah.
the songs. Like those were, we have 1 through 5 on the demo, and then we had 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, but we've actually. I don't know. I don't know why we decided to do that.
Do what?
Switch the lineup up.
Oh, I do.
Why? Was it me or Travis?
Both of you.
Yeah. I mean, I know I wasn't very happy with how Travis was playing, and that's he wasn't a drummer, first of all, and second of all, he wasn't very passionate about it. And there was some songs where I was like, oh, we should do this, and he just couldn't understand. It's not that he couldn't do it, but he couldn't understand like the kind of style I wanted out of
Right.
it. And not that it's my band and I should decide what it sounds like, but there was just some times where I wanted to put my swing on it, and he definitely didn't want to play drums at all. So I guess we just decided to switch it up. We probably wrote the guitar riff to something, and I was like, oh, let me hop on that and let me play, let me show you how to play, let me try playing this, and I would demonstrate it for him. And he was like, well, why don't you just play drums for it? And it happened. It just happened that way, and we did a couple songs like that.
Gotcha.
And we were very not happy with. I mean, it was awkward. We would all admit it was a very awkward thing to do in the middle of a set, just switch. But I think it sounded good.
Oh yeah.
People like it. Was a different sound coming. The guitar sounded different, the vocals sounded different, the drums sounded different. It was a totally different band.
Well, I was writing different. I was like evolving as
Those came later.
as a guitarist. I still wouldn't call myself a guitarist. I just play guitar. But I was like learning new riffs and stuff, and then but it did, like, those songs sounded like a totally different band. It just, it was cool.
Yeah, did Travis get a little more passionate when he was doing those songs, because they definitely sound more like his style of music?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was into it when he was on vocals.
Yeah, I remember at the first show I went to when you guys switched up, and it was a definite stark difference, and it definitely hit you a lot. And I actually will go back and watch and listen to the live footage just so I can hear those songs sometimes. Yeah.
We're working on getting them down on the demo now.
Yeah, we have all the same.
EP
The
or
guitar
whatever.
riffs are the same. The drums are obviously different. It's a different drum. Well, wait, no, it's me on drums. So I guess the drums are the same.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've evolved since we started it. So I think in the recording process, things have probably changed a little bit from the original on the live videos. But you know, we got him on Billy on vocals, and we're writing new lyrics for all those songs.
All but one.
Yeah.
Now, Billy, are you sticking more towards Nate's style or Travis's style, or are you kind of branching out on your own?
Yeah, I'd say neither. It just sounds how it sounds, you know.
Right. Yeah, we all sound different.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to talk briefly about some of the merch that you guys did. The original design for Sukkawut, it was like this big head that was like split open, right?
Yeah.
Where did you guys find that image?
So I did that. I don't know. I was like looking at just like disgusting imagery, pictures and stuff, and that was actually like a picture of a mask somewhere, and I just like tweaked the picture a whole bunch, and it's like unrecognizable. Like nobody could tell what it was by the time we put it on a shirt.
He printed them too.
Yeah, and you mentioned like keeping everything in the family and stuff like that, doing it all with people that you knew.
It was cool, like, you know, all this shit was so DIY. We didn't give a fuck about making money or anything, you know, like when we all like agreed to, or, you know, said we would be in a band, like there was an understanding that like, you know, shit was just like, as long as it was fun, you know what I mean? Like that was the point, you know, like fuck making money on any of this shit. So with the shirts and stuff, like, you know, I figured like I'd give it a shot, and that was like a kit from Michael's. I like went and bought a kit from Michael's and like screen printed these things. Like I had no idea how to do it or what, you know, and like I was learning as I was doing it, and like I put a hole in the screen and I had to like tape it up, you know, like I printed these like on the floor of my apartment, and
Gotcha.
And cured them. You gotta bake them. I put them in my oven, you know what I mean, like, and cured them in the oven on baking sheets, and there's only a few of them out there, but
yeah, didn't you say you had like a one of one like heather gray colored t-shirt?
Yeah, I got a gray one and I got a brown one at home, but those are mine.
Did they all? We had a really shitty. The first one was real shitty, wasn't it?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We made more than one of the first. Like, didn't it come out? Like, you couldn't tell.
I made a handful of them.
Oh,
I made
okay.
like 20 of them or something.
I thought you fixed it up a little bit and then made the rest.
No, so every one of them looks different because that hole
right.
that I taped off was getting worse and worse and worse. And like, yeah, every one of them's completely different.
It's a cool concept though, even if it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
A lot of brands do that where they'll say like the wash of the t-shirt on each one is different and all that sort of shit. So some people actually really dig that.
Yeah, when we finally make it, you know, those will be collector's items.
Oh yeah. And that's called the Mad Brain shirt, right?
Yeah, so that design was actually there was a guy, it was Austin Pardon, out of like somewhere bumfuck Ohio. He's a cool artist. He makes really cool stuff. He's worth checking out on Instagram or whatever. But he had that design up, and like I asked if, you know, I hit him up and I was like, you know, told him what we were doing and I wanted to put it on a shirt and, you know, yada yada, and I was trying to give him money for it, and he's like look, he's like, I don't have the original file. He's like, but if you can work with like a screen grab, fucking go for it. So we did, and I sent him one of the shirts when we were done. But yeah, I mean, so that's his design, and then, you know, the lettering came, you know, it's all fucking stolen shit, you know. But yeah, those ones we printed. We actually threw some money at it and got a screen printer set up.
Nice.
And I built some frames. You know, like that one we sunk some money into. We made a good bit of those, right? Like we made a bunch of those.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was cool. That was like a step up from you know, kneeling on the t-shirt frame and printing them on the floor, you know what I mean?
In
like,
the oven.
Yeah, shaking dog hair off of the shirts and shit, you know.
Wasn't there a post where it said if the shirt comes with too much dog hair or something that you get a discount, something like that?
Probably.
I think you guys mentioned that. And then I didn't know what to call that. I called it like the ACAB shirt. For those of you who don't know, it basically, well, it came out during the recent rise of racial tension that happened really in the peak of COVID. I mean, it's still going on, but this happened really during the peak, and they came up with a shirt design where it is a police officer shooting himself. And yeah, I mean, it's fitting for that theme, because, well, do you want to talk about that design as a whole and
Came
what
out during that time, but it's like, fuck them always.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think it had much to do with like the current state of affairs at the time or anything. It's just like, that shit doesn't really come and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a standard.
It was a good time to print that shirt, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Fitting
it was
time for it.
so it was that kind of mentality was something you always carried.
Yeah.
I
think
gotcha.
My brother and I went out to the big DC protest. I think it was over the summer of 2021 or I don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was the big one that it was crazy because no one got hurt. There was no one was arrested. No one got hurt.
That's good.
I can't remember what date it was. I wish I could remember, but I think my brother wore that shirt.
Yeah, I definitely thought about doing something like that. I was like, if I'm going anywhere, I definitely know what I'm wearing.
Yeah. I think it's cool, like, to have a shirt out that has to make people, like, reconsider wearing it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like my Consumed with Hatred shirt where it's Martin Shkreli getting sniped in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not too over the top. You know
Right,
what I
it's pretty
mean?
fucking
I don't know. I mean, dude, I
Out the top.
I brought this up before because there's this brand FTP that's like a skate brand, and they did a T-shirt of it's in loving memory of Osama bin Laden. Okay, I'm just saying I've seen some out of pocket shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm saying, you get pulled over and you're wearing that shirt, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
that's the tone.
They got the
Yeah.
you know who Section Hate is?
Yeah.
I just bought their shirt. We saw them. What festival was it? I don't know. We saw them recently here on the East
Grinding
Coast.
the
At the
cops
auto
over
And,
bar.
at the auto bar, yeah, we saw them at the
Nice.
auto bar, and man, I had to pick up their shirt. Have you seen it? Do you know which one I'm talking
I
about?
don't think so.
It's a bunch of people sitting around. It's all graffiti style, but they're sitting around a table. I can't remember if they're playing a game or not, maybe poker or something. But they're sitting around a table.
They're doing
and-
coke and grinding.
Oh, is that what? That's right. They're grinding. No, they're grinding up the cop in the
Snorting
fucking
it.
grinder and snorting it. They're snorting the fucking cop.
See, that's not so bad now, is it?
This shirt is so badass.
And he wore it to work one day.
I did wear it to work. Yeah, I work with him, so yeah.
Well, shit.
Cool.
Yeah. I want to talk about some of the notable Sukkawut shows. The Weekend at Birdie show, I believe it's where I got introduced to you guys, actually. And the lineup was Sukkawut, Butcher's Dozen, Butcher's Hill, and Cadaver Dogs. Now, how exactly did this get organized? Did Brenda reach out to one of you? I
got this.
yeah.
So, Birdie's is a coffee shop in Westminster, and it's a cool. It was a cool spot. It might still be. I don't know. But, we went in there. I think Nate had told me that Faceplant played there during the day, an acoustic set or something.
Yeah.
And
I didn't realize they played outside, but
I didn't know. All I knew was that they played there, and so I was in there one day with Travis, and I was talking to the chick behind the counter, and I was like, "Hey," if y'all ever want to have a real fucking show, let
Word.
me know. And she was like, okay. She's like, my birthday's coming up. Like, could we do a birthday show? And I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I was like, yeah, and like, to my credit, like, I warned her. I told her, like what it was. I was like, there's no way to do it acoustic. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
And I was like, this would probably be an after hours kind of deal. And she was on board, and I got her number and I sent her videos of like shows because I'm like, this chick she was like 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, she doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I sent videos of like mosh pits and shit so she would know what to expect. And she was like, yeah, I love it, down for it. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, clear it with your boss. And she did. She told me she did. And then Travis and I printed out a shitload of flyers at work or whatever, and Travis and I skated around Westminster and just stapled these things up on like every fucking telephone pole we could. And then I get a phone call from somebody, and they're like, "Hey, the cops went to Birdie's, and they were like, you need to take these down. It's like $25 like there's a like like they're trying to like
You didn't have a permit.
yeah, exactly. Some shit like that. So we had to go and fucking pull them all down. So it started bad, and then the guys helped. Mike and Nate helped. Some of the contacts that we made in the scene and everything. Just kind of pulled together. B12, these dudes are always down to play some shit, and like I told him what it was. We had there was guys in Butcher's Dozen who came. Butcher's Hill, who came up from fucking Ocean City damn near for it, and it was a super last minute thing. We threw it together.
Like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, and all these guys showed up. It was cool as fuck, and I
hell yeah.
It was I really like the fact that Cadaver Dogs played was tight because it was like way more punky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just felt, it was cool to throw some of that shit in there especially because it was local. It was Carroll County.
Yeah, and they had brought a bunch of younger guys with them.
Yeah, Butcher's Dozen. Butcher's Dozen was pretty much Carroll County area, and then us and then the Baltimore guys. And it was cool that it worked out the way it did. And then the show itself, I had a friend run the door or whatever,
right.
Getting money and stuff, and I told the chick who worked there, I'm like, yo, keep food and coffee going and shit, you'll sell a whole bunch. And there was it got them a good bit of business. She said, she told me how much they made, and it was pretty decent. And then we made money at the door, paid the bands, and then I just everything that was left, I gave to her. I hope she gave it to the business. I don't know, but it wasn't about making money. It was just about having a fucking hardcore show in downtown Main Street, Westminster. You know what I mean?
That was such an awesome fucking show.
It really was.
It was stressful.
Didn't we make a shit ton off of the shirts that show?
I have no idea.
We sold almost all our shirts.
I think that's where I got mine.
Yeah.
That
was crazy.
But the main thing is there was a bunch of people who didn't even know what hardcore was. Who came to that show and got exposed to some hardcore shit.
I remember this one kid, I can't remember what term he used for describing the pit, but I remember he said something like we were slam dancing or whatever. I was like, man, that's a push pit, man. That's not that bad, bro. It's like people aren't flailing around, bro. You're all right,
I think I jumped off the fucking PA speaker there.
I saw Mike fucking spin kicking in a coffee shop. You know what I mean? That ticked a lot of boxes for me that night. But there was a homeless guy who got in and he was stealing people's shit or something, and he got bounced out. I remember somebody stole Travis's vape, and
Jesus.
Butcher's Hill jumped on the mic and they were like, there's a missing vape. It needs at the end of this song, it needs to be back to where it was.
This,
and
it
was. You know what I mean? Shit got handled there. It was
They
cool.
probably looked around. It's like, I don't want that smoke.
So
it was fucking cool, and it was packed, man. It was way better than any of us expected.
It was sketchy as fuck. I thought
fun,
the cops were gonna come. We didn't, no fucking I can't believe the cops didn't show up. But that girl lost her job.
Did she?
That show.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know she lost her job because of that.
Her.
See, I actually I went to school with her and everything like
Really?
that. Yeah, that's how I knew her. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that her mom's coffee shop or some shit? Well,
No.
Yeah. So I heard that she lost her job
Oh.
because she didn't say that there's going to be a mosh pit or whatever. So I don't know. I went back to Birdie's a couple days later and I was like, hey, I saw the owner and I was talking to her and she was like, I'm the one who threw the show. And she was like, oh, interesting. And I was like, is everything cool? And she was like, oh no. She's like, I didn't know there was going to be a mosh pit in my dining room or whatever. And I was like,
if we just hadn't posted any videos, we could have done it time and time again.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew though.
I thought we were good to go. But
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I haven't been back there since.
Well, that makes it a one of a kind experience.
It's
God,
fucking
it was so
awesome, man.
And then I this might have been the next show I went to. It was the 420 Mini Fest in 2019. This was an absolutely huge event at the headquarters where it was Iron Price, Consumed with Hatred, Deep Rest, B12, Trenches, Path to War, Sukkawut, Natural Selection, Bather. I mean, it was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And I remember going and, well, Birdie's introduced me to the local scene of hardcore, and it got me into the headquarters because I followed Sukkawut. I found out more about other bands and everything like that. And I just remember going to that, and it was my introduction not only to the headquarters, but to even more bands. Like Deep Rest, I discovered that day. They became one of my favorite bands.
Awesome, man.
You know, Bather came down from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, Pennsylvania bands. Was this like one of the biggest shows you guys had there?
That was definitely the most bands we had play there,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it wasn't like the most people.
Our two
wasn't the biggest turnout as far
Yeah.
as people coming to the show.
our two Halloween shows were the best turnout wise.
Gotcha. That was my next question.
Yeah, the house was packed, but it was all band members.
Yeah. And then speaking on the Halloween shows, how many of those have you guys done?
Just two. We
Two.
did two.
Yeah.
And what costumes have you guys used before?
Oh my god. Travis was G.G. Allen with like, with like fake blood and fake shit in his pants. And everything.
Yeah,
Nice.
he was wearing a fucking diaper,
Yeah.
and he had
No,
chocolate.
it was-
he had
it was
he had
tidy
fucking,
whities.
Oh, that's right, and he had fucking chocolate in his
Oh my
fucking
God.
tidy whities, and I think he pulled it out and fucking started throwing it.
In the crowd, I think.
It's fucking gross.
That's awesome. It's just chocolate. That's a
That's
clip. That's a clip right
Chocolate
there.
has been in his ass crack.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh, he couldn't have done the outside, huh? Oh man.
That was cool. I was the boring one. I just wore the fucking trench coat.
Gotcha.
That's all I did.
Oh, I did the alien.
You did
didn't
the
I?
alien.
Yeah, like the. I don't know how to.
I remember that was like that. We were like very produced at that. That was the second Halloween one. You were like in the back while we started, and we started playing music, and you come out, fucking running. The aliens carrying you around. So you had like an introduction.
I don't remember that at all.
It happened. It's in the video. You can watch it.
Yeah. What were some of the best costumes you all saw? Just in general.
Fucking, Justin from Consumed with Hatred.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the middle. It's in the video. It's in the middle of our fucking set. He just comes in as a fucking cop, you know, with a blown up wave, you know, and it says
God.
donuts on his fucking shirt and shit.
Did anybody go like boo?
I can't remember. Something can't remember.
That's funny. This was interesting. It was called the Antisocial Art Show. It was in Baltimore. Original artwork was there by Miles Coben.
Oh yeah.
Herschel Hoover made a live appearance. Just talk about the atmosphere of that show, because it seemed like it was it was whack.
There was nobody there.
Nobody.
There was nobody there. Nobody, like, I think this guy Miles like just knew the guys in Herschel Hoover or whatever,
Right.
and knew us, and those were the only two musician friends people he had. And so he threw it together. I'm fucking here for it, but it was whack, dude. It was a tattoo shop.
We didn't
Crickets.
have Travis. at
Travis
that
was in
show.
fucking rehab, so like we did it all like just instrumental. Like we had no fucking.
We
we had
did.
no singer.
We covered Next Step Up at that show, but that was horrible. We did a really bad job. But
Wait,
we had that one guy that played drums for us. I can't remember his
Jake.
No, it was a dude that we got from somebody who knew somebody, and he was just like, he came practice with a couple times, and then we played the show.
Where the fuck did he come from?
I don't remember.
It was Jake. wasn't
No,
it?
dude, it was like a blonde
Jake
kid.
never played drums with us.
It was some fine kid.
Not
I
Jake
remember.
Allen. Jake did my friend from
No.
school. You remember him
He
coming?
got-
The
he
Rush
got-
kid.
He got grounded and couldn't come back.
No, he ran away and disappeared.
Or whatever.
That's what happened. He ran away and disappeared for a while.
Either way, it was whack.
We had the guy stand in on drums, and he practiced with us a couple times, and like he still didn't know the songs when we played, but like we set up. There's this little. It's about as big as this room right here, just
Right.
this side, and we brought all our PA system and everything.
Oh god.
Packed it in there, and people started leaving, and I mean it was so loud. They like were standing outside, and shit was falling off the walls.
It was a mess.
It was cool.
Oh, man.
I mean it was.
Yeah, good, cool visually. You're like, man, we're rocking this shit. was there like art and shit up everywhere?
Yeah,
What kind of
This
art?
was like fancy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like We had no fucking business being there.
It seemed like a tight event though,
Somebody
but
was taking pictures there, and I know we might have fucking bombed that show, but we got some cool pictures out of it.
oh yeah.
I was taking pictures.
Oh, was it you? While you were playing bass?
No, I mean, I was taking, I don't know. I gave somebody the camera.
Maybe Emily was doing
Yeah, we
it.
got some pictures.
I had fun, and that's the whole point of any
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
show.
you just got to get something out of it.
It was cool, like, freaking people out, for sure. And then Herschel Hoover was fucking crazy. Just two guys, like, they just dumped out, like, a fucking suitcase full of, like, crab mallets and vacuum cleaners and shit. Like, I don't know what you call that music, but they asked me, they were like, hey, can you stand in on bass? And I was like, I don't know any of your songs. And they were like, just watch like 2 songs and you'll get the gist. And I was like, okay. And then, you know, they started playing and there's no way they have like songs. Like, it's just like, so I did, and I'm like hitting my fucking bass strings with crab mallets, and it was
Improv.
it was crazy, dude. It was awesome. It was fucking fun, but
No shit.
there was no rhyme or reason to it. It was just a noise band or something.
Oh shit.
You remember that shit?
I forgot about it. Just talking about it, but yeah.
It's crazy.
And the last like headquarters / Sukkawut show I have from like earlier days is Mike's birthday throwdown. Now you said that you wanted to throw him a show for everything that he's done for the local hardcore community. I want you to talk more just about what inspired you to do that.
It never happened because COVID.
It didn't.
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
Huh.
It was supposed to be at Cafe 611.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the show together.
Yeah.
I think you made that post about, about me or whatever.
Huh. Well, okay.
But yeah, that show never happened because it got canceled because of COVID.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult to like get timelines down because when you're like posting about a date or whatever, it can change. You know,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of different posts. So yeah, sometimes
Right.
shit gets mixed up. It happens.
It would have been a cool show.
Oh yeah, I mean, but like,
Cool flyer.
yeah, well, just the idea of you having a show dedicated to you. How did that feel? Just the idea of doing that.
Really, that was cool. I appreciated the post and everything.
Yeah.
But like, it was my show. Like I put
Right.
the show together.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I think you put the show together, and I think Billy's the one who called it your birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made the
Right.
flyer, and I think I just
Yeah.
called it like whatever.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
I gotcha.
But you were the one who booked everything. You know, did all the work.
Can I piss outside there or no?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. Just it depends who's outside.
There is a bathroom right up there.
I know, but I just used it.
They're gonna think you're doing drugs. Or
Yeah,
something.
really. I think that. That's what I think.
Do you know Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know the comedian Ari Shaffir?
No.
So he had him over on his podcast, and Joe Rogan got mad because instead of going to the bathroom, he went out into his hallway and pissed into like a whiskey bottle. Yeah. At least he asked, It's not like he went outside and pissed. So it's like, I do it. I don't care, It's just like, hey, you got to be careful, I guess.
Right.
My mom like looks out the window like, oh my.
Oh my.
All right.
That's what they all say when they see it.
Right.
This is the last big section I have, and it's about SICKBOY Booking, which is Mike's new brand where he's hosting hardcore shows in the local areas. Most of them have been at Cafe 611 and at a few other spots in Maryland. Do you want to talk about how you built your relationship with Cafe 611? I know you guys have been playing shows there since before SICKBOY started and everything.
Yeah, basically, it's just, they're all really cool dudes and all, but, basically, if you have $250 to put up, you can book a show there.
Okay.
And, the place is really cool. I love the venue. That's why I reached out to them. It's an hour away from me, but it's a little less than an hour. But, it's just I don't know, it's in downtown Frederick, which Frederick is cool, and it's got a nice area for a pit, and it's got a lot of space around for merch and everything, and they serve food, so it's just a cool venue. And
It's one of my favorite venues. It was my first mosh pit I was ever in.
Nice.
He took me to see the Casualties, and he pushed me into the pit during the
Nice.
What was it? They decided to do the wall. the wall of death.
Right.
Oh.
He took me into the pit for that, and I was falling every step I took, I was falling, and he was right behind me picking me up. And that was the first big show Opioids ever played, was Cafe 611.
Nice.
With, Earthworm, which turned into be a friend band to all of us, Sukkawut. They played a lot of the headquarters shows.
Earthworm Von Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, what's the other one? Is it Exodus? No, they're a big band. Exemptus is it. They were really cool people. I think we played it with them again. But yeah, that's mine really. Anyway, sorry, Sick Boy. Back to Sick Boy. I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you can talk.
Yeah, go right ahead.
There you go.
So now that you have Sick Boy, are you do you still plan on doing anything at the headquarters anymore, or is that kind of ended?
Yeah, so during COVID, I mean, I filled my basement up with like a weight bench and weights and all, and it's like, I mean, I could still do it, but I just feel I could just move the stuff out of the way, but I just feel like it's never going to be the same. Like,
right.
That was like a special time, for the headquarters, and like the people. There's a lot of the same people around, and there's some of the same bands around, but it's just not. I just feel like it wouldn't be the same to do it again.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should just leave that as it is, for the time that it was, and just move on and do something different.
Yeah, they say all good things got to come to an end.
Right,
so,
right.
Now you had a very heartfelt Facebook post, and it was really deep into going into your intentions behind Sick Boy and all these different events, and we're going to talk about that. You said that you want people to line up, hang outside, and wait outside the venue, waiting for the doors to open, and talk to people you've never met and share other show stories. You also said there will be no advanced or online ticket sales. How do you think the convenience of technology has ruined the human interaction at shows?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the ticket sales, I mean, it's just kind of like a nostalgia thing for me. It's like, because I remember going to shows when I was a kid, and it's like, if you didn't get there like early to make sure you got a ticket, you might not get in.
Right.
You couldn't buy the ticket in advance online and make plans to go and get into the show. And I experienced that, going to shows and being late and not being able to get in. And I've also been to many shows where you show up 2 hours early and you stand in line, you wait with everybody else, and just like the post says, you meet people you never met. There's a guy that's $2 short, and everybody offers him $1 or whatever.
Right.
Doesn't have any money, and everybody pitches in to pay his way in. And people traveling from out of state, and they just don't have the money. And it's like, I don't know. It's just that's the time that I came up in, and it was that's what drew me to the hardcore scene. And not that I'll ever be able to bring that back, but I don't know. It's just like I said, it's just nostalgia for me, and
right.
So I don't want to do the online tickets, and I don't expect my shows to be sold out and you can't get in. But it's just, again, it's just a nostalgia thing for me.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely it makes people want to get out. A lot. It reminds me a lot of sneaker and clothes, because nowadays if you want to get something that's sought after online, like a pair of shoes, you have to be there early when it drops, or else you might miss it. It's going to sell out quick. Mm-hmm. So it's that same sort of thing. And do you feel like people just don't socialize as much anymore at shows? Do you think that that's changed?
I guess I mean, people definitely talk to each other and socialize at the show. It's just the waiting in line before the show that's missing.
Right.
Where if you show up to a show, you immediately go to the crowd that you're used to hanging out with and you talk to those people. But if you're in line and the person in front of you, the person behind you might be somebody that you never met before, and so you're standing there for an hour or more, so you end up talking to them.
Right.
So that part is missing. But I think people, people still people from out of state come to a Maryland show and meet people in Maryland, and you make connections all around that way.
Yeah,
Had a cool experience with that. We went to This Is Hardcore.
Nice.
Whenever that was, a couple weeks ago or whatever, and that was we have some PA friends just from the scene, and they knew everybody there. You know what I mean? So we go hang out with them, and then all these people are coming over and talking, and met a lot of people, and then. When I'm tired of the pit, I would go outside and stand around and talk to people. It was, met a whole bunch of people, and I remember it being like that when I was a kid, and then I just met everybody. There's a point where knew everybody at the Baltimore scene, But it was cool to get out somewhere where there was a lot of people I didn't know.
All right. Yeah, and you said like you create these like lifelong relationships with people you never would have thought. Jake from B12 actually worked with my older brother at Five Guys. Yeah, when I was in middle school, my brother was his manager at Five Guys, and it's like if I would have never gone to that Birdie show and discovered B12, I would have never met him. I would have never knew that, and he came on and did my thing. So it's like that's an example of how you just meet people that you never would have thought, And you mentioned already, like giving people a few bucks if they need it. What has been some like examples of kindness you guys have like either done or witnessed at shows?
That winter show when you let everybody crash at your house.
Oh yeah, that was cool. You want to tell a story?
We did a show, I don't know, it was December or January at the headquarters, and it was snowing. It started, they were saying it was going to snow. I was like, shit, nobody's going to come. But then all the bands still showed up, and then people still showed up, and we had a packed house.
This is cool, man.
And it was snowing its ass off outside. And then when everybody started to leave, they were all crashing on the hill, leaving from my house.
They really did. Yeah, I guess we forgot there was two ways to get out. And we should have told them to go up the hill instead of down the hill. And everyone ended up. Man, it was a clusterfuck out there on the hill.
God.
And the police came. They're like, "Sorry, you guys got to get the cars out." And they're like, "Well, we can't. We're stuck. And we need a tow." And they're like, "Get the cars out, or we're gonna have a problem." The police were being assholes.
Jesus.
Yeah, and there's was it Sharm that had a fucked up ankle, and he couldn't walk.
Man.
It was it was his ACL, wasn't it? Yeah, and he couldn't walk back to the house, so he just sat in his fucking truck until the tow truck came and moved the cars. Then we ended up with we had Split. They spent the night, and Forced Under spent the night, and some other random people that were like at the show ended up spending the night at my house.
Nice.
That was cool.
Hell yeah. And like for me personally, I think it was at the 420 Mini Fest. Like I've had bands where I go to support them and buy their merch, and I'm like, shit, I don't have this amount. Oh, you got it. You're giving us a little bit, and it's like
that's a big part of like giving back to the bands and all. Is like when you go to a show, it's awesome that you're there to support them. But like buy some merch, because a lot of times the bands are getting paid very little, if anything, to be there and play music for you. So like, buy the merch and do whatever you can to help them out. They need gas money, they need money for equipment, for recording and everything. So that's a big part of giving back.
There's been a couple times though where we hand out the shirt, and it's it feels good for us, for somebody to just want our shirt,
Yeah.
and to think about them wearing it. I know there was a kid in when I was still in high school, there was a kid walking around. He didn't even know who I was. This kid didn't even know me, and he was wearing a Sukkawut shirt. And I was like, "Where the hell did you get that from?" It was from his older brother. But
Wow.
that's cool. Like even if there's times where we hand the shirts out, it's just cool to know that it's out there and people are seeing it. Especially with a name like Sukkawut, people are gonna approach and be like, "What the hell does that mean?"
Yeah, like we said before, like it's never been about like making money or anything. Like you're taking a loss doing any of this shit, and like so if it came down, if somebody was like, "Hey, I want a shirt or whatever," they don't have any money. It's like I'm not gonna give a fuck. They can have the fucking shirt,
Right.
Like they said, it's cool just seeing people.
We just started a slippery slope now. Everyone's gonna expect free merch.
Whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Offer expires. So you were just talking about that example of where everybody was trying to drive out and their car slid and shit, and you were mentioning like waiting out in the rain and the snow. What's been some of like the other worst situations you guys have had to either play or wait in?
When we played at fucking Guido's Speakeasy, and it was just like water. It was like
that's not even a thing anymore.
I know, yeah. But it was like pouring down, raining, and like we walk into this place. Somebody asked us to play this show. Another band asked us to play Debarking, and Dope Needle and Uncle Buck played, and we play the show, and like we get there, and there's like the bartender's like up at the front. He's like he just points like back there, and we're like, okay, and we go back there, and it's just this fucking dingy, like moldy shithole.
It's not at all what we expected.
There's water. I mean, it's kind of fitting, but there's water just like dumping in from the ceiling onto their PA system.
Oh, my God.
I went to the bartender. I was like, "Yo, it's like raining on your PA system." He gave me like a bucket, and I just put the bucket there. We had like one fucking light bulb, I think, back there, like a blue light bulb or a string light or something.
It was weird, yeah.
And it was fucking us, the other band, because Debarking and Dope Needle were the same band, Uncle Buck, and then like whoever the fuck drove the Debarking guy, whoever's mom. You know what I mean?
It was cool that like people were moving around and we had a good time, but I don't think I'm trying to remember. I don't think we expected it to be as DIY as it was, because Guido's was a place and there were shows there,
Yeah.
It was cool.
It's right across the street from Cafe 611
Yeah,
too.
correct.
And we had to do everything. There was no sound guy, I think somebody took up the role of doing sound. But
I don't think so.
No, I don't remember. And we had to bring our own mics and everything. Like,
but we sold mad shirts to some drunk assholes. They were there for like a bachelor party or some shit. And
oh yeah, they came out in suits, didn't they? Or they were dressed up.
They were like Chads, and like
Yeah.
they fucking bought a mess of art. All of them. They were like, they thought it said sauerkraut.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, shit. They were pushing each other around too. They were having a good time.
Yeah, that's
they
good.
didn't even see the show. They were
Are
outside.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm
These
wrong.
dudes caught us in the parking lot, and they were like, "What's going on?" And we're like, "Oh, got merch." And all of them motherfuckers.
Hey, y'all want a shirt? Oh shit. Now
Charging
it's like
$50 a shirt.
oh yeah. It's like you said, it's never really been about making profit, and you're continuing that with SICKBOY, and you said that any profits made will be donated to a charity chosen from the headliners. Now, you don't have to like name any specific charities unless you'd like, but I was curious on like what kind of areas of focus that bands have chosen so far to donate towards.
I haven't made any profits yet.
Oh, keyword profits.
Yeah, man, I'm like $600 in the hole right now. So.
Well, it is out of the love, like you said, man. For anybody who thinks it isn't, well, hey, it's all about the idea of it,
Yeah, yeah.
So I have like 2 shows here that I wanted to talk about. The first show that was under the SICKBOY brand was March 12th. 2-piece, Head High, Malice Strikes, Grave Birth, and Deep Rest. I'm curious if you had like any concerns with it being your first show under the new brand, or did you just feel totally confident with your history at the headquarters and everything?
I mean, I was definitely concerned about people coming out and making my money back, which
Right.
people didn't come out, and I didn't make my money back. So I mean, it's a legit concern,
Right.
But it's like you said, it's not about. I didn't do it for. I would love to just at least break even. I'm not trying to make any profits, but it's like I had a blast doing the show. I met 2-piece and what was the other band?
Head High,
Head
Malice
High,
Strikes.
Yeah, they're all from Florida. Like,
Oh, okay.
I might end up at one of their shows again. If I hadn't done that show, but like I got to meet them, and they're all super cool dudes. And Deep Rest came out, who I love, and they're all friends of mine, and like. I don't know, it was a cool show, and people who were there like had a good time and thanked me for it and everything. So,
Absolutely.
It's been really cool, man. I mean, you get into the specifics of the other show, but yeah, I mean, the only SICKBOY show I went to was the one we played, just because I've been caught up with other family stuff, but everyone there is very appreciative. He's very appreciative of the opportunity to be there and to play. And I don't know. Like I was telling him the other day, everyone knows that Mike's a good guy, and they come to support Mike. That's how it works, And I'm very appreciative that people realize that about him,
That's why I asked you, come on, all of you, because you guys definitely make an impact on the scene. Because I'm here as a spectator, you know what I mean? You guys participate as band members, but just as someone who spectates the scene, yeah, you guys are putting on for sure, especially you and throwing events. So yeah, I mean, thanks for sure, because you give people like me something to do as well,
Right.
You give me something to do when I'm off work looking to relieve stress and everything like that. So we appreciate it, we definitely do. Now, the other show I have is April 23rd, which was the first Sukkawut show in 2 years, I believe you guys said.
Mm-hmm.
It was Butcher's Hill, Don't Start None, Sukkawut, Back to Life, and Secret Society. You already spoke a little bit about this, but I'm assuming it was because of COVID that it was your first show in 2 years. Do you guys want to speak about how it affected the band? How you already haven't said, and just personally how it kind of affected you guys?
Dude, I mean, when COVID hit and there were no shows and there was no band, I was like really upset. Man.
Yeah.
I was really upset, man. I mean, playing music is something that I love, and I've been away from it for so long, and to get back to it was like such a big upswing in my life, you know. And when it was not there anymore, I got pretty depressed. I mean, there was other stuff going on too, but that was a big part of it.
Right.
So it was and I really didn't think we were ever going to play again, and so playing that show, getting back together and playing that show was really cool too.
Awesome. You guys used a picture of Billy's cut up fingers for a flyer. Are you able to disclose how you injured your hand?
Please.
Fucking hedge trimmers, man. Electric hedge trimmers.
Shit.
They were mics. It takes off.
Yeah, sure, but how? You know, like how? I want to hear it again.
My fingers ended up in them.
How? Tell us how. You grabbed the fucking thing.
No, I
While
didn't grab
running.
the fucking thing.
Oh, whatever.
Is that what Mike told? Why would I grab it while I was
No.
running?
Okay.
Alright, here's the fucking deal.
Please.
I was cutting a tree branch, going up, cutting it up, and then it like snagged, and I had to reach in with one hand and pull it out. I reached in with my left hand to pull it out. When I did, the fucking hedge trimmers fell down on my left hand.
And when he reaches in with his left hand, he never thought to
you
let
can't
go of
look. You got to pull the fucking trigger back with your thumb.
Sure.
And then squeeze, and it's
Right.
running. But that's also how you fucking hold it. So as long as you're holding it, it's fucking running. You know what I mean? Like,
so no.
I could have
there's no
fucking
excuse for
I
this
could
fucking
set
thing.
it down
You
on
could
the
have
ground.
you could have let go of the fucking trigger, let go of the fucking thumb thing.
Sure.
They're also electric, so you could have unplugged it.
Yeah, I could have worn chainmail armor too. Hired somebody to do it. You know what I mean? But I
That's what
didn't.
you
Like,
should have did.
like, there's always a fucking safer way. It's like if somebody wrecks their car, you could be
but
like, well, you shouldn't have drove
reaching
that
into
way.
fucking running hedge trimmers is like the least safe way to
I
do
didn't
it.
reach in.
You did.
To fucking
did.
hedge. No, I literally just told you they
Just need
it
gloves.
fell down. Even I don't think gloves would have done
I
a whole
know.
lot, but
Would have helped.
maybe they might have just been messier. Put fucking more shit in my hand, but yeah. So that was cool.
And so on the post it said that you were playing vocals due to the injury. Is that when that started, or was
That's
it?
a lie.
It was a lie.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lie.
He just wanted to sound cool, you know.
No, it like made sense because
Yeah.
it was the first show where like I mean yeah I couldn't play the fucking bass. My shit was all fucked up.
Gotcha.
But,
And we needed somebody, we needed a spot filled, either drums or vocals, and
Right.
the only thing we could find was a bassist, another bassist,
Uh huh.
you know. So
We didn't even find that. We found a guitarist and made him play bass.
oh yeah, yeah, but he did admit that Lauren did admit that he really wanted to play bass, and I knew he's amazing on the guitar. You know, he
He's
knows all the
definitely
fucking
capable.
he knows all the theory. He can play like a fucking piano. You know, he's really good at guitar. I
He's a
knew he
nerd.
could pick up bass. Yeah, he's really fucking good, man. So yeah, we had him, and I know he can do vocals, but it's not his like strong suit, you know. So we had him on bass, and Billy took vocals because that's, we just did what we had to do, and really we were planning on doing, one show, and we liked it, so we kept doing it.
Gotcha. So what's been the biggest turnout so far for a Sick Boy booking show, and what's been your favorite show?
The last show we did, I think it was 75 people, and that was including the band members. So it was like 15 of those at least were band members.
Right.
But that's the biggest turnout so far.
That seems pretty good.
And I've gotten a lot more like likes and on social media. So like I'm hoping I'll get more people to the show next time.
Right.
Get the word out more.
Yeah, it's like this. The more you do, the more you put yourself out there. It just takes time,
Right,
you
right.
know. That's pretty much it. You guys do have upcoming material you're working on. You said you were going to try to work with some of the stuff that you did with Travis and change it up a little. Are you also writing like any new original stuff?
We've got one. Is it just one, or do we have two? I know we have one song. We performed it we played it at the show. It's brand new. Everything's brand new in it. That's. I think we kind of took a turn a little bit with we went from like shitty hardcore because none of us knew how to play music to kind of metalcore-ish with me on drums and Travis on vocals, and then we kind of decided we wanted to do like beatdown.
Okay.
What?
Or not.
Yeah, we just play some shit, and
Yeah. I mean,
it's different. It's definitely different than the demo. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
like, to throw a fucking subgenre on it, who gives a fuck?
It gets deep.
Whatever. We were trying to. Oh, I know. My inspiration was I just wanted people to fight. I wanted to make some fight music, and I think we did a pretty good job with the newest song. I don't even know if we have a name for it.
We do.
We do.
I don't know what it is.
9. We have more than 9 of them, I think.
You just got to make a numbers album
Yeah.
now, and it's gonna be like a deep cut reference. What are the upcoming Sukkawut and SICKBOY shows that people can look out for?
We got August 26th at the Shamrock Inn in Baltimore. It's Concrete, Pure Bliss, Born from Demise, Mortal Ground,
Fear of God.
Fear of God, and Sukkawut. So that's coming up. That's our next show. Hopefully it'll be a packed house, and looking forward to it. Fear of God is a band that's just got back together. They were from like the late '80s, and they're a Baltimore band, and they play like thrash, hardcore music. And so they've been playing a lot of shows lately, and I'm excited to play with them. And Born from Demise and Pure Bliss just hit me up and I was like searching for one more band to fill the show up, and they hit me up and they're like touring and they wanted to jump on. So ended up with 6 bands, but we're probably just gonna play like 20-minute sets so the show's not too drawn out, and it's gonna be a good one.
Sweet. All right. Any final notes? Anything you guys want to say? Anybody you want to shout out?
Nope.
Did you